Welcome in to the CHGO Bulls podcast, presented to you by PointsBet. Don't forget that promo code CHGO when you sign up for a PointsBet account to live your bet life.
That's what you do.
I'm Matt. You can follow me on Twitter at Bulls_Peck. This is my friend Big Dave. He's on Twitter at BAL, BAWL Sports. In the magic bubble, Mr. Will the Goat Gottlieb is on Twitter at Won't Gottlieb. How you doing, Will?
I'm so excited for our show today because we're going to talk about my boy Lonzo Ball. Very excited to get into it.
Yeah, if you could tell your boy Lonzo to make sure that knee is nice and good before we start next season, that'd be great.
That'd be nice. That'd be nice, Will.
I don't know if he's my boy in that way, but I do love watching him play, and I'm excited to talk about it.
Will, I'd like to commend you on your attire right now. You look like you're stepped fresh out of a catalog.
Bye,
right there,
Greg.
sir. Nice Abercrombie and Fitch style you got happening, sir. I'm feeling
You're
that
way
right
too
now.
nice to me, Dave. I don't deserve all the praise that I get from you.
Hey, man, I call it like I see
Dude.
it, Will. Call it like I see it, man.
That, like Jimmy Neutron, like freaking front of your hairdo is just
I don't
like
know what's
right
going
there.
on.
I said I called him like I see him.
Night. It's all over the place. I can only hope to contain it. It's uncontrollable.
It looks like the brim of a hat, but it's just your perfectly placed hair.
It's awesome, man.
Crazy.
gotta deal
Peak
with
Thunder Gaming #1 says Bulls equals first round exit. Yes, we are past that now.
That's what
It's a
happened.
good take.
Thanks for the reminder.
Good take. Good looking out, guys.
Unless they are already referring to next season, in which, like, hey, don't get ahead of yourself. We've got a whole offseason. Offseason just started
got
4 days ago.
4.
Speaking of which, we are going through our individual player evaluations right now. So we started things off with DeMar.
Yes.
Yesterday we talked about Vooch.
Yes.
Today, as Will mentioned, we are going to Lonzo Ball, another member of this Bulls starting five from the season who, when he was out there, was looking all kinds of great, but just 35 games played. Let's take our first look at our grades for Mr. Big Baller Brand.
Big baller brand.
Offense. Dave and I both went with a B+. Will went with an A-. I mean, obviously a huge efficiency and volume asset behind the three-point line for the Bulls this season.
Yeah.
His career high, 42.3%, I believe, is what he finished with. The reason I didn't quite push him into the A status is because he also shot the exact same percentage overall from the field, 42.3. And we know that Lonzo doesn't have much of an inside game when it comes to his shot.
True.
He doesn't attack the basket all that often. True. He averaged like not even a free throw attempt a game, or just barely over a free throw attempt a game. That's not really part of his game. So between that and the fact that as brilliant of a passer as he was, he also did have 2.5 turnovers per game without being like a always handling the ball every time down the floor kind of point guard. Sure. That's why I went with a B+ instead of anything resembling an A. What about you?
That's fair, because also he was averaging what, about 5 assists a game.
5.1 assists and like 2.5 turnovers. So
that's fair. I struggled. This is the only one I struggled with, actually, because I went back and forth with giving him an A or should I give him a B+. Because I kept thinking A, because even though his numbers aren't reflecting it, the offense didn't run without Lonzo Ball. Like, he was the offense. Like, he started it, he ended it, he was the middle of it, he was all of it. Like, it was so many great moments in the season, and Lonzo Ball was a part of them. I'm talking about offensively, like alley-oops or just getting the ball from inbounds and immediately throwing it down the court for easy 2 points. The Bulls sorely missed getting easy baskets, and Lonzo Ball was a huge, pretty much the only reason for that, them getting that. So that's why I wanted to give him an A, but then at the same time, I was like, well, he's not really that offensive kind of guy, though. Great solid 3-point shooter, 42%. All of that is awesome. But like you said, the field goal percentage is low. He's not a guy with a wide array of moves, like he's going to the bucket. He's not like, I'm killing you in the mid-range, I'm posting you up. He doesn't have those kind of things in his game, but the offense doesn't look right without him. You know what I'm saying? It's just not a thing. But he still deserves, some praise and some love for just how well he plays well.
Yeah, I think, you basically described a super high level role player on offense. And that's what he was. He was like a turbocharged role player where he was shooting the heck out of the ball when he was playing. He made the offense hum, I think, in a way that you saw it really decline down the stretch where they just kind of gave it to DeMar and got the hell out of his way. And I think they really needed him to be that connective tissue where the ball is moving side to side, where, it's not sticking. You're making quick decisions. You're able to get the defense off balance that way. And then the interior shooting, I remember like early on in the season, everybody was like freaking out every time he took a step back elbow jumper and it clanked off the front of the rim. But I mean, if you're talking about volume 3-point shooters, like you said, Matt, 42% on threes on 7.4 attempts per game. The only guys in the league who shot 40+% on 7+ attempts were Kyrie, Patty Mills, Lonzo, and Anthony Simons. So elite company in terms of high volume 3-point shooting. And for me, it was another question of, how do you look at this? Is this like, where does he rank as a player in the league? Is it, how do you rank against, what the Bulls needed out of him versus, what they actually got? Or how do you rank it against, what he has done in the past? And I think for me, all across the board, he exceeded expectations. Definitely not the go-to scorer type, definitely not like an offensive engine in that way, but I think what he did provide was just so needed, and that's why you saw the Bulls kind of fall off without him.
Way off.
Yeah. Gary saying in the comments, Lonzo provided much more than points and playmaking. Much like AC, he would get the team going. Dude's a solid B+. So we got somebody agreeing with us on that B+ front. And look, again, it's an example of realizing what a guy does when you take him away from the equation of how your team operates. And clearly you saw his absence on the defensive end, but you also saw what it did to the Bulls offense and the way that they missed his playmaking in transition, which was so effective and got the Bulls a lot of easy buckets, and being a reliable guy who could get a pass when he was just hanging out somewhere off the ball and knocking down a shot. And we saw what that Bulls team looked like when they did not have him out there knocking down shots.
Yeah, hitting those like big timely threes too, like that New Jersey game comes to mind. Brooklyn, to mind.
New Jersey.
Hey man, they're gonna always be New Jersey in my heart. All right,
Keith Van Horn.
Yeah,
Dude,
shout out Jason Kidd, baby.
I don't think I've ever heard Big Dave call them the Brooklyn Nets on the first try.
He's right.
Every time I hear Dave talk about the Nets, he says New Jersey.
Yes. And you know why? Because there's a deep love for the New Jersey Nets in my heart. They were always like one of my second favorite teams.
Because you love Jason Kidd.
I love Jason Kidd.
We love Kendall Gill.
Yep, love Kendall Gill. Man. And love Drazen Petrovic. I was a huge Drazen Petrovic
Kerry
fan.
Kittles. Keith Van Horn.
Oh, they were there. Kenyon Martin.
Vince
Carter.
Dude.
Yeah, Chris Morris. Derek Coleman.
Dude, Derek Coleman.
I used to love the Nets. They were my team. I've always had a soft spot in my heart.
Can we do the random generator game today?
New Jersey players, yo. Yeah, man. Like that, and that's why. That's why I'll always be there. Like one of the first jerseys I bought that wasn't a Bulls jersey was a Jason Kidd New Jersey.
Yeah.
New Jersey jersey.
Yeah.
That's what I had. A New Jersey jersey. But yes, Lonzo, like just those timely threes he hit, against teams like Brooklyn. Just always a fail safe when we needed it. Because I remember him hitting threes where their offense wasn't even running right. And they would just give it to him and he would pull that from the elbow and he would hit that three and kind of, reset everything for the team. And immediately lets everybody know where they need to be on defense and starts guarding basically everybody who touched the basketball on the other team. But we'll get into defense in a second. But
and how about this? Just one more thing is like the watchability factor of the Bulls team with versus without Lonzo was just, I mean, he just made this team so much fun.
Mm-hmm. He did. C-Red in the comments saying, C-Red UK saying his quarterback passes were fire emoji. I mean, truly, some of those passes I'm recalling the one where he just whipped it, like kind of just like right in this seam.
Yep.
And like nearly took one of the opposing players' heads off. Like just Dallas. Skated, yeah. Mm-hmm. But I mean that was one of dozens of passes that you watch Lonzo make, and you're like, how did he know that there was space to make that pass? Right. And then how did he execute it perfectly?
Yes.
It was like doubly impressive anytime you saw that guy make his passes in transition.
Like he was the difference between somebody on your team being just an average role player to being a much above average role player. You know what I'm saying? Like he automatically puts more points in your scoring column, gets you more opportunities to get rebounds, to do anything that you like to do. He gets you those opportunities on the offensive end, and that's what's great about him. Yeah,
his box score stats for a role player were definitely there, but his impact goes way beyond the box score on both sides of the ball.
Absolutely. Yeah, so let's talk about defense. We all were in agreement on that one. Real easy. All of us gave Lonzo A+ for his defensive effort and execution this season. The way that he prevented our opponents from getting comfortably into their offensive sets was something that, again, was sorely lacking once he got hurt. Right. And that Bulls' perimeter defense just became so, completely lacking resistance.
Bad.
Thank you. There's another simple way to describe it. And then also the ways in which he was a help defender. Mm-hmm. And also, like, the ways that he could be a help defender and rotate multiple times in the span of a single defensive possession where it was like he was guarding the entire team by himself. Mm-hmm. And you saw how much that kind of masked some of the defensive liabilities that existed on this Bulls roster, because Lonzo was like, it's okay, guys, I got it. Is this one of those possessions where I just have to play defense by myself? Mm-hmm. Cool, I'll play defense by myself. And it worked.
Yeah. I think that might be his nickname for me on defense, is the mask. That's all he did, man. It was just everything. You know what I mean? You knew where their deficiencies lied on the defensive end, but I had him. Mm-hmm. So it didn't matter. You know what I mean? And even when guys would he did such a great job of anticipating. You know what I mean? Like, he would always anticipate what the other team is about to do and where the ball was going. I want to see his math scores. Seriously, what was his math scores in high school like? Like, because he knows angles and things so well.
He's a genius.
Seriously, he knows those things so well. And just watching him jump those passing lanes, immediately he knows where the ball is. He's jumping those passing lanes. Those blocks he used to get where they don't see it coming were always fun.
His blocks from behind?
Yes.
Yeah.
It always the best, because not only is he blocking it, he's getting the ball and he's gone. You know what I mean? Like, it's out of here. We're starting to break. We're out. So those things I love that he provided, along with being able to guard everybody on the court on any particular possession. But he would do those little tiny small things to just really throw off the offense on the other team, Will.
He wears he graduated Chino Hills, 4.0 GPA.
There it is.
I mean,
no
UCLA,
surprises there.
Nope.
Academic institution.
That's right. Everybody knows that. But dude,
I mean, a 4.0.
4.0 is a 4.0, man. Listen.
But is that a weighted scale? Like, can you possibly have a grade point?
I don't know if California, what they use.
Like, because in certain high school grading systems, if you take honors and AP classes,
I don't know if
and
you
get
A's
in those classes, you can have a GPA higher than 4 if it's on a 4.0 scale, or higher than 5 if it's on a 5 scale.
Are you saying you had those classes?
Maybe.
Okay, because you're speaking like you had the, he's like, I'm speaking like I know what I'm talking about.
Tech knows all about that.
Was I don't know if it was weighted or unweighted. That was as close as I can get to his math grade.
4.0, to us regular folk, 4.0 is pretty damn awesome.
It was. Yeah. I mean, I graduated with a 5.3 on a 5.0 scale, but
he can't help himself. He can't help himself. He can't do it. My God.
I guarantee you Lonzo is smarter than me, though.
Does
anybody actually remember anything from high school?
Oh, no. My GPA was horrific.
But you still went to college and got a degree.
Yes, I did. I got it together.
High school GPAs don't mean anything.
No, they don't,
I think
kids.
that's what we're collectively learning right now.
No, kids, for real, they don't. Just get to college and then hit the reset button. That's what I did. 3.8? Both times? Dean's List?
What about Will's got serious valedictorian vibes.
Oh, yeah.
No, I just was watching the Bulls, man. I couldn't focus on school.
Sorry, I was asking about Lonzo's defense. Well, we were getting into that.
All right. Well, look, I don't say this lightly because I think Draymond Green is the best defender of this generation, maybe of all time. And I think it's like not particularly close. But Lonzo does some stuff as a defensive quarterback that reminds me of Draymond. I don't think he's near that level, but just the ability to see like 3 plays ahead, to get himself in a position to make to get ahead of contests and be there like before the dude gets the ball, or just like, tip passes and go the other way in transition. He just by far my favorite Bull to watch. Like if you're watching the show right now, you can see me just talking with a smile on my face because he was that good. And the defensive metrics, they reflect that. He was in the 97th percentile of defensive EPM. He was just awesome. The Bulls were 8.6 possessions better, points per 100 possessions better with him on the court. Their defense completely fell off without him. The transition defense, just like the creativity, just flying all around the court, like going rogue half the time and still managing to like come up with it. Friend of the program, Brian Schroeder, called it cowboy mode. And I really like that because he was just like the wild, wild west out there, just making plays, doing whatever he wanted. And it just worked out for him.
Jesse James, man.
Josh Jackson saying if Marcus Smart can win DPOY, there's nothing stopping Lonzo. First time a guard won DPOY since the glove in the mid 90s.
Yeah.
Can we do a quick sidebar on the Marcus Smart DPOY conversation? What do you guys? What's your take on that?
Okay. I didn't feel any way about it.
I don't think he's in the top 5 defenders of this series right now against the Bucks.
Damn.
That's
a pretty crazy statement.
Of just the collective players on the Bucks and the Celtics, you don't think he's even in the top 5 defenders? And that's okay. So clearly, I'm guessing you've got Holiday and Giannis ranked above him.
Right.
Maybe he's like in the top 3 or 4, but he's definitely not in the top.
I got
2.
Tatum above him, maybe if you include
I would
length.
Take Tatum. Robert Williams is like really freaking good.
Yes,
Al
he
Horford is like the one player in the league who can like just keep in front of Giannis and like make life hard for him. I don't think it's like that crazy to say. I think he's clearly an elite defender.
I don't know if you could say he's 4th best, maybe 4th most important or 5th most important in this series, but he's the defensive player of the year.
But that's my point I feel like it was a narrative award for him. And I think he's deserving. Like he's that good a defender. Not trying to take that away from him, but give me Lonzo over Marcus Smart. That's all I'm trying to say.
Niles in the comments saying Lonzo would have been the DPOY. He was on pace for it. Look, I don't necessarily know if that's true, but what I'm very confident in is that Lonzo was certainly going to make an all-defensive team, maybe all-defensive first team if he played the majority of this season.
I think there's a very real chance that both Caruso and Lonzo were the starting or the first team all defense backcourt. Caruso really fell off after he got back from the wrist injury, but those two, the start of the year, were just insane. I don't think that was that much of a stretch.
And I believe it was it Basketball Index when they did their all defensive teams?
Yes.
And Lonzo Ball definitely was the number one guy.
35 games.
There he was.
Right. In 35 games, and they were like, nope, it still was him. He was still amazing. It's him. So, he special is the word I think that we should be using about what he does defensively and what he did defensively this year for the team.
Right. All right, so we still have to get to our meathead grade and our overall grades on Lonzo, plus his projections for the offseason and next season. We'll get to that coming up next. But first, Big Dave.
Yeah.
You want to tell the people about Athletic Greens?
Oh, no, Will. Today, you're going to give the people what they want, sir, because they want to know how is the hair so amazing? How is the skin so tight and the smile so bright?
It's all in the greens.
It's all in the AG greens, ladies and gentlemen. That is what it's all about. You know you need some, and you know you want some. Why? Because Will the Thrill is using it. Those 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food source superfoods, those probiotics and adaptogens that he's using to help start the day right. That special blend of ingredients supports the gut health, your nervous system, your immune system, your energy, recovery, focus, and aging. All the things that you want to take care of. And it don't cost you much. It costs less than $3 a day, and you're investing in your health, and it's cheaper than that cold brewed habit that you got. I'm not judging you, just telling you what it is. You're investing in an all-in-one nutritional insurance, y'all. And you want to know reviews and testimonies? Well, Athletic Greens has over 7,000 five-star reviews. But forget all that. The only testimony you're going to need is from that man on your screen right there. His name is Will Gottlieb. Will, tell him about the Athletic Greens one time.
AG1, man. I'm all in on it. I started taking it. When did we start doing this? Like a month or two ago?
Beginning of March.
And
2 months ago yesterday.
I finished my first month-long trial or test of it, and I went straight to the CHGO code and bought a year-long subscription because it really works. I feel like a lot healthier. I love starting my day off with it, the routine. It's really helping like digestive issues, and I just think it's a great routine to get into. And like you said, Dave, investing in your health, there's nothing more important.
Nothing more important than investing in your health. And Athletic Greens is going to make it easy for you to do that by giving you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/CHGO Bulls. Again, that's athleticgreens.com/CHGO Bulls to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. Athletic Greens. Scoop it, dump it, shake it, drink it, feel it. Get it all in there.
You know what's really good for your mental health?
What's that, Matt?
Making money on PointsBet.
Boy!
At least it's great for my mental health.
And you look damn happy.
I love it. Hit another parlay last night.
Proud of you, man.
Woo!
Proud of
and you know what? I'm kind of salty because there are no NBA playoff games tonight.
Why you have to say that out loud? I didn't want to hear that.
Because it sucks. And
That hurts my soul.
I wanted to put some.
My time.
I wanted to put some bets down on PointsBet.
I understand.
I'm like, maybe I'll venture out of my comfort zone of the NBA, baseball, maybe hockey. I don't know.
Is there some soccer going on?
A
little bit.
Either way, if you haven't downloaded the PointsBet app yet, I don't know what you're waiting for, because it's a great way to help us and support us here at CHGO. Downloading that PointsBet app and using promo code CHGO when you sign up. It's also great because it's going to do a whole lot for you and give you all kinds of perks, like those 2 risk-free bets up to $2,000, like making that $50 or more first-time deposit, resulting in you getting a free membership to CHGO to get all of our exclusive web content, including Will's amazing coverage, writing about the Bulls. I got a new pecking order dropping tomorrow.
Trademark.
Ayo. Plus, access to our members-only Discord channels, including a Bulls fan channel. So that's 2,000 in free bets, free CHGO membership, free T-shirt from the CHGO locker, all for making just that first $50 or more first-time deposit. If you have any questions, you can email pointsbet@allchgo.com. We will help you out. And online sign-up from your phone, available in Illinois. What are you waiting for? It's so easy. It's fun. Same game parlays, boost live, watch live, parlay live, all with PointsBet. Live your bet life, people. Come on now.
Do it. Just do it.
Why does that fit
I thought
me
you
so
just
well?
threw your phone on the ground.
I did too, Will.
Just plopped it down next
I
to
was
me
worried about you there for a second.
on my chair cushion.
I know you get animated, but that would have been next level.
Dude, I have no reason to throw a phone right now.
That's fair.
I was telling Dave earlier, I have no reason to throw a hat
did say
for
that.
months.
Yeah.
Not until the Bulls play again in October.
He did say this.
Well, I guess, I don't know. You know, Bears kick off what? September?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if the Bears lose opening week, there might be some hat throwing involved there.
Might be a lot of throwing something involved there.
Get ready for that then.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, God.
All right, we move on along with our Lonzo Ball grades. Breaking down the season, he had meathead grades. I just went with dark.
Explain, please.
That's how I felt about this Lonzo season, because it was such a tease seeing what he did for this team on both ends of the floor, and then that initial news of he's got something going on with his knee, so we're going to call this 6 to 8 weeks, maybe more. We'll see. He's going to at least rehab this, and then we got to reevaluate. And I just had this bad feeling that whole time. And every single game I watched without Lonzo, I realized more and more the fact that he might not be a star player on this team, but he is perhaps the player they could not afford to lose. So my meathead grade for Lonzo this season was darg, because that's all I can come up with when I'm trying to think about how this Lonzo season made me feel.
Yeah,
darg
peck. Yeah, I like it. I went with the triple Bs. You know what they are? The big baller brand. That's what it is. And also,
as long as he's not wearing the shoes.
Yes, please, no more of those shoes. Please don't do it again. I don't want to see it. And also, I just realized, that also stands for the three sons and, ball. Mm-hmm. I just put that together in my head while I was saying that. But I'm just so happy that because when he got to the league, there was no player I would look at more and say they fit this team more than Lonzo Ball. And I'm talking about from when he got here. Because we've been missing a point guard that long. Mm-hmm. So I'll be like, Lonzo could be awesome here. He's not coming. Next year, Lonzo could be awesome here. He's not coming. Then he goes to New Orleans. Man, Lonzo could really work here. And then we get a front office that says, I hear you, big fella. That is a good idea. Let's try to get him here. Thank you very much. But the big baller brand representing here in Chicago for the Bulls. You saw his father. I know Matt had concerns about his father. You didn't even hear from him.
Not a peep
out of him this year.
From Ball Senior.
That's right. From the CEO of the big baller brand, you didn't hear anything, man.
Never lost.
Ain't got nothing to do. But just watching that and then seeing him and his brother battle when they came to the United Center, I thought that was an awesome night as well.
That was very cool.
That Lonzo got the best of, because as he kept saying, I'm the big brother. It's on me. So, yeah, man, just shout out to Lonzo Ball, the big baller brand. I'm just happy it's here in Chicago, Will.
My meathead grade, I don't even know if I believe this. This might be the meatiest head take that I've ever had.
Okay.
But number 1 seed. They were the number 1 seed with Lonzo Ball in the lineup. And is it fair to say they would have remained the number 1 seed? Probably not. But you can't really take that away from the Bulls this year. They were the number 1 seed with Lonzo Ball. He was that good. He was that important to this team. And
he's not wrong.
You're not wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not wrong. I'm not wrong.
He's not.
Try to argue with that. You can't, because I'm not wrong.
Number 1 seed.
Never lost.
He's right. You want to say it's a meathead, Tiffany. You're like, the numbers actually reflect exactly what he's saying. Yes, they were pretty much one of the best teams.
There's more going on there, and like I said, the Bulls probably would have fallen off a little bit more. But that's how good they were playing when they had Lonzo. They were awesome.
It's true. All right, so overall grades, I hated to do it, but I gave Lonzo an incomplete. He played 35 games, not even half. And it is a little bit of a troubling trend, and we could talk about that more when we, talk next about projecting Lonzo's offseason and next season. Yeah. But, I mean, 52, 47, 63, 55, 35 this season, 35. He was great when he was out there.
Yeah.
But he wasn't even out there for half the games this season.
Yeah.
So as much as I would love to give him a quality grade, you can't pass a class if you show up then less than half the days that class has a class. So he gets an incomplete from me.
So what happens when you graduate with a 5.3? This is the stuff you start saying to people.
Hey, man, you know what I did? I showed up to class. Only occasionally senior year would I ditch. Mostly just a flawless track record of attendance.
I would love to hear about Peck Ditch days soon. That's some content I really would like to dive into. But
never did anything
Stay
illegal.
in school, kids.
Stay in school, kids.
Stay in school.
But
don't do drugs.
Ditch sometimes.
Senior
year. When everything's done and everything put away.
Yeah.
Live a little. But I gave him an A. I could not give him an A. He was just that damn good. And like Will said in his last take, being the number 1 seed and basically being the starting point guard for a team that nobody thought was going to do any single thing and be even a number 1 seed with 35 games. Nobody thought that was going to occur. Lonzo Ball was a huge reason for all of that. He made everybody's life easy. And I'm talking coach included. Mm-hmm. Like Billy Donovan didn't have to call certain things out or worry about certain things because Lonzo was going to do it. Lonzo knew where everybody had to be. He knew who had to have the ball. He understood where people were on the floor. He got that done. So being a coach on the floor always helped a guy like Billy Donovan do his job, even better. But I couldn't not give this dude an A, man. He was just too damn good. I feel you. With 35 games, it feels like an incomplete. I hear you. I don't think that point is invalid at all. But from what I saw, man, I can't just get rid of what my eyes saw for those 35 games and just how good it felt to see that dude playing for our team and how good the Bulls were for that short period of time.
I think I have the same take. I mean, he was so good. He made the Bulls so good. And I think he was a big part of the reason why, like, the culture turned around. Like, obviously we talked about it with DeMar, and I think he was the leader in the clubhouse with that regard. But I mean, Lonzo changed this team for the better. And yeah, I think the not showing up to class, or whatever the analogy was, is totally a fair one. And that's kind of why I knocked it down from probably what would have been an A or an A plus even. So yeah, I mean, it's tough to really figure out where to place a guy like that. I think Caruso, I'll have a hard time with him too. Just, he obviously played more games, but just knowing how to measure success with somebody that was off the court for so long, that's an important thing. And, obviously a lot of it is not his fault, right? Like, he's not trying to go out and get injured, but it is concerning that he was not able to do this, that he's never really been able to stay on the court, and who knows what's going to have to happen this summer.
Very true.
AZ Cards, Phoenix Suns on God, who is hanging out watching a Bulls podcast for some reason, said Bulls are a top 4 seed with Lonzo. I'm rooting for him to return to the Bulls if they keep him with everyone else. That's a very nice squad. Yeah. Colin saying, was Lonzo pass fail? He aced a lot of the tests he took, but I guess he didn't take the final exam. Yeah, that's kind of how I feel about it.
Good way to put it.
So, hopefully we get a Lonzo that is available for closer to 82 games. Because, a couple of those Pelican seasons, so the 1920 season that was shortened and then paused because of COVID, he played 63. And that was close to the final number of games that were played. I think he had a stretch early in the season where he missed like 6 or 7 games in a row, but that was it. Last season, he played 55 of not 82, but 72. If you recall, yes. The NBA went with a 72-game schedule last season. Right. So that was better than his first 2 seasons in LA, where he had 52 and 47. This season felt like a step back to me as far as Lonzo's durability, and to me, that will remain the biggest question coming into year 2 of his tenure with the Bulls. Yeah. Joey, let's take a look at that Lonzo projections graphic and look at what he's got on his books. You see that $60 million, 3 years, $60 million remaining. He's under contract next season. I put 99% coming back. Like I didn't want to make it the full 100 in case something crazy happens, but I just don't see, and that isn't meaning like, oh well, for whatever reason, his rehab in the offseason doesn't go perfectly and he's not ready to start. That's like, will he be on the Bulls roster next season? Right. I went 99%, probably could have gone 100.
I'm with that.
You see the roles that he plays on this team, as we discussed. And to me, the biggest, fattest thing in the what we need from Lonzo, as far as you see their areas to improve, durability, availability. What do you guys are looking for? Because the latest updates we've gotten from Lonzo or his coach recently, but like while the Bulls were playing their playoff series, did not sound all that comforting. Didn't sound promising in that he was still experiencing discomfort with that bone bruise that hadn't fully healed after his surgery mid-season. Are you guys as concerned about Lonzo as I am? Because we just spent a solid half hour talking about how important he was to this team this season, and I am terrified that there's something wrong with that knee and it won't be ready and fully healed, and we won't get close to 82 games from Lonzo next season.
You go ahead, Will.
When Zach LaVine hurt his knee against the Warriors in that one game, I think it was in December or January, he like went out for 10 days or whatever it was right away. But I was like very concerned that this was going to be a season-long problem. He may have needed to have surgery. when Lonzo got injured, I wasn't that concerned. I figured he's going to have a surgery. Like Robert Williams came back in 4 weeks after the same procedure. As things started to drag on, it was like 6 weeks on a 6 to 8 week timetable. Okay, no real progress has been made. All right, it's 8 weeks, and now we're going to shut him down again for 10 days and see how he responds, and then finally shut him down for the year. So absolutely, I'm concerned. I mean, at this point, I think the procedure was January 14th, and it's May 5th now, and he still is not ready, and that's really concerning. Bone bruises are incredibly painful and can take, I think, up to 4 months to heal. He said that he is not expecting to have another surgery in his exit interview, but if he has to, then he has to. These are not the kind of things that you want to hear from a guy who's already been out for so long. So absolutely, I'm concerned. I would imagine that he's good to go by the start of next year because the summer is a long time and hopefully he'll be able to rehab by then. But with his track record and the way that this healed, definitely a cause of concern.
Yeah, I mean, you guys know me, man. I don't panic on stuff like this or get down on things, but this one definitely, I was I was like, oh, and my God.
You at the time you were like, okay, if it's in the timetable, I'm not going to worry. I'm not going to worry until it's past the timetable.
Yep.
And now we're past the timetable.
Correct, Will, and that's exactly what I was exactly right. Once it got past that, once it did all the barriers I had up, all the positive barriers, I should say, I had up. Nope, he's still in that timetable, 6 to 8 weeks. Well, they said they're going to give him a couple more days off and then try it again and then ramp him up. We'll see there. When all that was taken away and it was just like, dude, we're shutting him down. And then even after the shutdown, he's still like, I still don't know. Complete worry. I have absolute concern going forward with his knee. I think the bone bruise will heal. The question is when. And then after that, what's going to happen now? You know what I mean? Because, again, there's nothing I can really fall back on in his career to say, well, he had this season where he didn't have a, injury, and all the injuries are pretty much lower extremities. Right. You know what I mean? They're ankle, knee, stuff like that. And, God, it sucks so bad because of how vitally important he is. We spent the early part of this talking about that, just how important he is to this team. So it's very worrisome. I'm very, very worried about it. All we can do is wait, and find out and see what we hear from that. But yeah, I'm definitely concerned.
Two things. I see one comment that I immediately thought of. The word knee just triggers PTSD in us Bulls fans. Yes, especially for guards and players 6'5" and under. My question is, whose knee are you more concerned about, Lonzo or Zach?
Honestly, Lonzo's.
Lonzo, yeah.
Because I think what it sounds like is going to happen with Zach is that he is going to have a early offseason knee scope that is fairly straightforward and that he'll be okay.
Yeah.
And that knee will be fine and ready to go at the start of next season. The ways in which you and Will were just kind of describing the strange timeline with Lonzo's knee and the fact that it theoretically should be fine, but it isn't. Yeah. Anytime they try to ramp up his physical activity and the different kinds of cutting and running and et cetera that he was doing on a basketball court, experiencing discomfort, shut him down. None of that sounds encouraging or promising to me. And who knows? But gut feeling, who's are you more worried about? My answer is Lonzo.
Without question.
I think for me, this answer probably changes once we, in a couple weeks here. But for me, it's Zach, just because I don't know what's wrong with him, and nobody seems to know. It wasn't structural. It's not degenerative. What is it then? And he obviously was able to play through the pain, and he was still productive, but he's clearly not the same player. Yeah. So with Lonzo, at least you know what it is, and hopefully it's just taking longer than usual to heal. Now, if he has to have another procedure or Zach gets his scope and they figure out exactly what's wrong and they can easily change that, then obviously it changes for me. But right now, I'm worried about Zach. I'm worried about his knee, and hopefully they identify what the problem is so that they can fix it. Because I think that's a safer place to be than just complete unknown.
And I think that's one part about Bulls fans who are concerned and questioning whether or not this team should sign him to a max contract this offseason. That's one example that doesn't make me upset because it's nonsensical. A Bulls fan saying the Zach we saw in the first half of this season, the Zach we saw last season, all-star Zach, in my opinion, that's the guy you give that contract to without a doubt. If Zach's knee is an issue and Zach is only as effective as the version of himself that we saw in the playoff series against the Bucks and in the final third of the season, that's a different story. And that's not a player you feel great giving that contract to.
No.
So I think that, to your point there, Will, that's absolutely fair to be concerned about that. Whereas with Lonzo, you're not worried about you're not worried about that as much. He's under contract. He's got 3 years remaining on that 4-year deal. That I think all Bulls fans were worried about overpaying Lonzo.
Yeah.
Some of us were. I was. And without some of those incentives in his contract, he's not even making $20 million a year. He's under contract for 19.5 next season. And there were certain incentives that he did not hit this year because of the amount of games he missed and the fact that he was on pace to be an all defensive team player, then missed games and is not going to be making all defensive team. So, Lonzo's contract is not a concern at all.
Yeah.
Whereas with Zach and his knee, you also have the contract being a part of that.
It's a great point. And shout out again to JJ Polk, aka Mark Eversley, for that contract. That's just brilliant to have that written in. But I just went and I'm looking at all of his injuries, all of Lonzo's injuries through his career. And this is just from 2017 on. Left shoulder sprain, sore left knee, bruised left knee, 2 ankles, then another ankle, 2 adductors, illness, knee, ankle, hip, thumb, COVID, knee. Like, bro, that is a litany of injuries.
His neck and his back in there too.
The bachyotomies, man. It's out of control.
It sounds like Derek, man. It's like
every Lawrence,
other day. It hurts.
It hurt Lawrence with a shot from afar. You hit him with the Steve Kerr. From a long range, you hit that man.
It's true though. It's like the whole general soreness thing. Like it was just something new every other day, and it sucks.
It sucks,
and
man. That's
trash.
Yeah, it sucks. That's definitely the word for it, and that's what for me what the concern is. Like with Zach, it hasn't gone worry beyond that for me because I'm like, he's gonna have surgery and he's gonna have a whole off season,
right? Yeah,
and I know he'll recover. And plus, I saw him actually play on that knee. Lonzo couldn't play.
Right.
He couldn't do anything. I know Zach was not the same Zach, but he still was playing. You know what I mean? And he still might get you 30.
And the other thing to point out is Zach maybe would not have played on that knee were it not the context of this is the first time I'm going to the playoffs. Right. My team needs me.
True.
In this fight as we gear up for the playoffs. And not as much his, the fact that he's in a contract year, but Zach clearly was out to prove a point to say, if the doctors told me it's safe to play, I'm playing. Right. And I may not be 100% Zach, but this team could use 70% Zach.
Yes, they could.
And they did, and they could. But yeah, for you to point out the fact that like Lonzo could not play on that knee.
Yeah.
It's concerning.
It's concerning, man.
Concerning.
It is. And I don't like being in this world of tech. But I'm in it.
Stew around in my worry stew all summer long until I see footage of Lonzo just doing sprints up and down a basketball court.
And it's not usual that you hear a bunch of injury updates over the course of the offseason, right? Like you hear about the major stuff, like Ben Simmons is having the back surgery that Woj tweeted out the other day.
Wow.
But if he's just like continuing to rehab and not really like, are we going to hear anything until training camp? That is like another question for me. We'll hear about whether Zach has a surgery. We'll hear if Lonzo has another procedure, but the unknown for him is really, it's pretty weird.
Yeah.
All right. We can have some fun and stop talking about whose knee we're worried about more.
Woo!
To wrap up the show with a look at last night's NBA playoff action, just like we did on yesterday's show. We'll do that next. But Dave, first, one more quick shout out to the friends of PointsBet.
Oh, one more shout out to them, and I will make it quick because if you enjoy CHGO, one way to continue to help us to grow, that rhymes, is to download that PointsBet app and use that code CHGO when you sign up. Because not only are you going to get those 2 risk-free bets up to $2,000, but if you make a $50 or more first-time deposit deposit, you will receive that free CHGO membership, which unlocks all of that awesome web content, and you'll even get a free t-shirt of your choice from that CHGO Locker. And all the people here in this beautiful state of Illinois, this wonderful city of Chicago, where the weather is trash right now. But still, you can stay inside. You don't have to go outside and deal with it because you can download that PointsBet app right now, register your account from your phone, start, finish. That's you from your phone, start, finish. You'll be signing up with the fastest sportsbook, easier than ever. So you can start living your bet life in seconds. So what are you waiting for? Because once the game starts, you don't just bet. Will Gottlieb, tell him what you do, sir.
You live your bet life.
One time, Joey.
You guys.
Oh, great Odin's Raven.
What'd
You
you
guys,
say?
Speaking of the register from your phone thing, yesterday was beautiful. First sunny day in 42 days. How come it has to rain again today? Why are they doing this to us?
I don't know, man. The teasing ain't fun. I don't like it. It's annoying.
I'm ready for summer pack.
It's real dumb.
You ready for summer pack? I
Dude.
think everybody's ready for summer
Heck is
pack.
ready for summer pack.
He's ready,
Which,
man.
have you guys looked at the forecast for next Tuesday yet?
No, I haven't looked at any of
I
this.
haven't quite gotten there yet.
It changed since I looked at it yesterday, but even today, sunny all day, high of 71, low of 61.
Perfect.
That's not quite summer.
That's my summer.
But,
No,
dude,
that's
I
my
am
summer.
good with those temps.
Yeah, that's big man summer. That's me right there.
If it's sunny outside and 71 degrees, and that's a Tuesday, so we'll be in studio,
You butt
I'm
naked.
showing up.
You butt naked.
In Berks, shorts, and a tank top.
He's butt
and if
naked.
any of my coworkers have a problem with that, that's on them.
Who's going to have a problem with that?
Some people are weird about people wearing open-toed shoes / sandals to a workplace.
Yeah, but you're going to have a tank top too. Like, you know.
Oh, yeah.
They're gonna have problems with everything.
Which part would you would you have a larger problem with?
It's bad, dude. It's going to be all packed.
My free toes Berks or my tank top that shows way too much of my pasty white torso.
But see, you actually have nice toes. Your toes aren't terrible.
I keep my toes clean.
You do a good job of that, man.
Keep them trim. Don't let the toenails get too long.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. There are people who wear
I'm not
them.
a freak about hygiene. And that is one thing that I know. It's like if somebody's got like a horror show of toes down there,
Or show them
nobody
toes.
wants that.
You didn't want it. You got some Birkenstocks, Will? Do you rock the Birkenstocks?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh, wow.
Absolutely.
See?
Birkenstock guy.
Okay.
I'm wearing them right now, actually.
Oh!
Wow.
Oh, man.
Well, la-dee-da, Mr. joining us from a magic bubble that only shows my shoulders and head. No, for real. If it's warm and sunny, I'm wearing the Berks of the
I'm looking at it
man.
right now. Next week is supposed to be a little cloudy, it looks like, but at least what I'm looking at. Sunday, 68. Monday, 82. Tuesday, 87. Wednesday, 90. Thursday,
Yeah, see, I
89.
I saw that too.
Am I
but
looking at the wrong?
He's like, is this the wrong city?
I don't know if I believe this.
Right.
It
Didn't
was
think you'd get
saying it was
lower.
going to be in the 80s early next week when I last checked it, and I just checked it was like no 70, and I was like,
So
what
it
the
might
hell?
go to 60 is what you're saying?
Yeah,
Like
well-
it might drop down there?
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't believe it. But that's my weather right there. 60s, 70s. That's as far as I want to go. That's it.
I'm with you,
leave it
Dave.
alone.
I am with you.
Yeah, I'm with it, man.
Anything in the high 80s or don't even tell me about the 90s.
I'm
Hell
all
no.
inside.
Hell no.
Inside, where's the AC? Turn it
Dude,
on now.
if we go to Summer League in July,
It's gonna
Yeah, I
be
heard it's-
133
my
degrees out there.
I'm gonna need some
You
kind of
literally cannot go outside.
no. That's gonna be awful.
But you
And
can't wait
also
to go?
like
Yeah.
humidity is tough, but like if it's 115 degrees outside, I don't care how humid it is or how dry it is. It's still really freaking
No,
hot.
you're just
Yeah.
baking alive.
Yeah.
If it's in the triple digits.
Yeah, seriously. Yes, absolutely right. I'm not looking forward to that.
All right, guys. Before we get out of here, quick check-in with these NBA playoffs still going on. We had a couple of Game 2s last night. Heat beat the Sixers again to take a 2-0 lead in that series. Suns beat the Mavs to take a 2-0 lead in their series. And I would say both the Heat and both the Heat and Suns won fairly convincingly. Yeah. Sixers got it close a couple of times, and Luka was doing his crazy thing, trying his hardest to keep his team in it, but never really a threat. The Suns ended up winning by 20. Heat win comfortably. What, if anything, stood out to either of you guys from either of those games last night?
I mean, Luka's doing what I said on the show, what I wanted him to do, is to basically have those games where even if they lose, he just goes crazy. 45 in the first game, 35 in this game. He's been looking amazing because I just want him to build on his greatness is what I was looking for him to do this series. But the series is going like I thought it would. Because remember I said I didn't think they were going to win a game, but it's going like I thought it would so far. And the Heat series, it's no point in me even watching that series. Like,
It's kind of a dud series, isn't it?
I can't get into it. Yeah, it's just too bad Embiid's not playing because I mean I think the Heat are still a better team, but I mean it's just not really that competitive. Maxi's been really good. Harden has just like, I don't know, man. What happened to him? Like I get that he's aged, but like it's just weird to see. I mean he was like 35 points per game like 2 or 3 years ago. Like what is happening?
Devil's advocate. I saw something I thought was interesting. Like people are, and I agree, the drop off for Harden is pretty absurd, but that doesn't happen usually where a guy, like you said, goes from 35 a game to unable to get by Georges Niang, or sorry, that's his teammate, but Max Strus, whatever it is.
It's all good.
I think people are forgetting that he tried to come back from a really serious hamstring injury last year, and I think there's a decent chance that is sort of affecting him. And with the fact that he also didn't get in shape this summer.
Yeah, that's the part right there. Like, forget the hamstring, that part, the being in shape part. Because he honestly hasn't been in shape in about 2 seasons. Like,
and that's where Luka
Houston.
That's where Luka has been really impressive is he's like played his way into great shape.
Yes.
Obviously, you want him to start there in training camp. But, I mean, that dude is just unbelievable. Like, he's on pace to be one of the great playoff performers ever. And it's too bad that there's just not quite enough talent around him to compete with the Suns team. But, like, they're shooting the ball really well as a group. They're playing really well. Their defense has been awesome. But the Suns are just a machine. And I don't know I don't know what you do about them. I cannot wait for them versus either the Grizzlies or the Warriors because I think both of those teams are a little bit more complete than the Mavs. That conference finals is going to be amazing. And then obviously the finals again too, whichever team comes out of the East. Yeah. But man, the Suns, I knew they were good. Like I said before the series, I thought they would win it, but I thought the Mavs would be at least a little bit more competitive, but the Suns are just absolutely kicking their ass.
Yeah, man. They're otherworldly, man. And like I said, Chris Paul is on a mission, like a straight up mission. And
I think Booker had like 30 points on 16 shots or something like that last night.
Yeah,
like,
dude. Yes. He's been amazing.
He had
13 or 14 one game.
Book had 30 on 19 shots in game 2. But yeah, he and CP3 have been very impressive.
Shooting like 60% as a team. It's like they just don't miss.
And unfortunately for Luka and the Mavs, his teammates that were stepping up all season and then in that Utah series have been kind of ghosting him in the first 2 games of this Suns series. Like Jalen Brunson, I think I saw this on Twitter, averaged 27 points in that series against Utah.
He was balling.
And he's basically averaged 10 points in the first 2 games of the series against Phoenix. Like Spencer Dinwiddie, who has been amazing for them, like amazing, had 11 points. Luka's most help came from Reggie Bullock last night in game 2.
Yeah.
He just he's not getting the help from his role players right now. Whereas that Suns team, a lot of the same guys from the team that went to the finals last year, they all know their roles. They all contribute. And, it's a good work balance and a good balance of carrying the load with Booker and Paul leading the way. A team, when Book went down in that first round and you thought, is this team that everybody saw as the clear runaway favorites to win it all suddenly vulnerable? Right. And then you saw that frisky Pelicans team push them and win a couple of games, and you're like, oh, maybe the Suns aren't the invincible team that everybody thought they were. And then we got to this series against Dallas. It was like, hey, Luka, you can drop 35 or 45, whatever. We're still going to beat your ass.
Yeah, we'll take that.
And
go ahead, Will.
I was going to say, it's interesting, too, because the Mavs sort of play that Morey ball, just give it to Luka, spread pick and roll, find his shooters. And the Suns are, like, very methodical, share the ball. Obviously, they run a ton of pick and roll with CP, but, there's just a ton of cutting, ton of mid-range shots. I think they even led ahead of the Bulls in mid-range shooting this year. So 2 totally different styles. And typically it's really hard to overcome such a deficit in 3-point shooting, but they're so good, and they're so good at making those shots that it just doesn't even matter. I mean, it's like these games aren't close.
Not even close. Nowhere near it. Raging Oracle says alcohol and strip clubs and steak every night won't get the pounds off. Great job.
Referring to James Harden?
Referring to James Harden, yeah. He's got a point there. He's got a point.
I don't know, man. I drink a fair amount of alcohol, and I eat a lot of steaks, and it's felt.
You left out the strip clubs, though. So,
I don't do that.
Yeah.
Because I'm not gross.
Yeah. And again, remember, James Harden is in South Beach right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just not the place for him, man.
What do they do about him this summer? They got to pay him
They got to pay him.
He's
traded
everybody
for him.
$60 million for his age 37 season.
Yeah, you traded everybody.
I get that people are concerned about paying Zach. This is not as bad as paying James Harden a max.
True indeed.
I don't know what they do. Yeah, like maybe you get him to sign a 1+1 or a 2+1. That's a tough spot to be in because you just gave up picks and a good player to get him.
Yeah, look at that, Bulls fans. Just remember, you think you're down bad on something.
Could always be worse.
It could always be worse, man. You could be dealing with the beard, rolling with that, and no. No.
Niles in the comments said the Bulls need to be watching this Suns-Warriors games and looking at the off-ball movement and ball movement in general. Fair point.
Yes,
I mean,
he's right.
Even the Celtics in game 2, that ball movement was gorgeous.
Yeah.
And you saw what the Bulls basically were reduced to in their final stretches of the regular season, and then that short playoff series against the Bucks. Ball movement was almost nowhere to be found.
They'll get work on it in the summer. When does the summer of hell begin, by the way? When does that begin for Patrick
I don't think DeMar called it out by
started
date
on Monday.
specifically.
Start on Monday?
Started last Monday.
Okay, all right.
No, I'm just kidding. I have no idea, but I think they usually give themselves like a week or 2 off and then get back into it. So
all right, yeah, I'm ready for him to get into it. Like just wake him up, you know what I'm saying, like military style. Just bust in his room 4:30 in the morning, flashing lights and screaming. Like do it that way, man. Like I just want him in a gym working on stuff right now with all those other Bulls players.
Yeah, I like how we're talking about like, I can't wait for summer vibes. Just want to sit around, wear tank tops and Birks and drink cold beer.
We're gonna start.
But I want the Bulls to be working their butts off.
We're going to get up at 4 a.m., do our podcast, get in the gym.
Yeah.
Let's match the intensity.
No.
Let's match the intensity. Yo, we'll say 4 a.m. podcast.
Dude.
Let's do it. Knock it out. 2 a days.
We ever do a live podcast at 4 a.m.?
That means we just got in.
Something has gone horribly wrong or we're still up.
Yeah, which means something horribly wrong or awesomely right. It's going on. If we're up at 4 a.m. doing that.
Only extremes.
Vegas.
So, as I said at the top of the show, no NBA action tonight, which seems not fair and stupid. But then, so we got Heat Sixers game 3 and Suns Mavs game 3 on Friday, and then we go Saturday back to Celtics Bucks and Grizzlies Warriors. I don't know why they're doing it this way.
Joey's confused.
Right?
That
is the proper
legitimately
response.
makes zero sense.
It makes no sense.
I can't even think of what explanation there could be for that.
I don't either.
They want to give Marcus Smart and Chris Middleton more time to recover. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, I hope Middleton gets back. I hope Middleton and Gary Payton II get back because those are two important pieces to both of those teams, man.
I think they said 2-week reevaluation for GP, so hopefully we hear some good news. I'm still sad about that, man. That stinks.
He's a young guy, so he's got that going in his favor right now. He's got them Gary Payton genes too, so he's got that going for him, man. But yeah, I don't want to see them if they go the next round going up against Chris Paul and the Phoenix Suns and not have that guy.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? That defensive stalwart. You're going to need all of that playing against Phoenix.
Carlos said, any good college hoopers projected to go near where the Bulls pick? We're not there yet, Carlos.
Slow down, man.
We got a plenty long offseason.
Our summer of hell is on the way.
Carlos, Jeremy Sohan, Baylor, highlights. A little before our range, but look it up.
All right, well, so there you go.
There you go.
Our guy Joey gave you an answer, but
that
now,
guy.
Joey, if you give a mouse a cookie,
I'm just trying to hold them over until draft prep.
It's
All right?
very kind of you.
It is
And
very
I'm sitting here saying I don't want to talk about the draft for
That's
at
why
least.
shut your mouth.
Stop asking
least
about it
3 more
now.
weeks.
That's right. Stop asking about
Don't
it.
want to talk about the draft for at least 3 more weeks.
Meet Joey on the Discord.
The NBA playoffs are happening. The
DM me.
Bulls might
The
not be in
lottery
them anymore.
is-
What'd you say,
The
Will?
lottery's in 12 days. It's
Oh
happening.
my
And
God!
guess who
What?
doesn't have to worry about the lottery this year?
Woo!
Bulls fans.
It's going down, baby.
What a
They're
sad
gonna
reason to
real.
do that, Horn.
No, it's
Like,
not.
oh, we're not in the lottery for the first
I
time in
love
5
the draft,
years.
man.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
I
Draft
do
is
love
great.
the draft. It is fun.
And
I love it.
we have a VP who likes picking in the mid to late stages of the
does.
draft.
He does.
And we've got the 18th pick.
Yes.
Don't need to
He
worry
likes-
about getting lucky on lottery night.
He likes the 4th pick too.
It's true. It's true.
Why is Mark K not immediately popping up out of nowhere in the comments with some cynical remark about Patrick Williams?
Because he's a caring family man.
You done messed up, Mark K. You missed your window. All right, that's it. We're out of time. Thanks everybody for hanging out with us on this Thursday afternoon.
Woo!
We'll be back with one more episode tomorrow. We're gonna be remote. But we will be live.
Yeah.
And we're going to be doing this pretty much all off season.
Yeah.
We're going to make Friday episodes fun. We're just going to call them Fun Fridays.
Fun Friday.
So they might not always be very specific keyed in Bulls related news and discussions.
Yes.
But we're going to do some silly stuff tomorrow.
It'll be stuff.
Oh,
Well, thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Kevin. Appreciate that. Kevin giving us love.
I don't know what is Kevin's tone right now. Is he messing with us? Is he being
I
sarcastic?
think he's being. You can get in the camera. Come on in. Come on in.
Come on.
Come on.
Oh,
Let him
no,
see
he's
you.
being camera shy.
Yeah, come on in. Come on.
Say hi.
Come on
Say
in.
hi to Kevin before
There
we...
he
Yeah,
is.
there he is.
There he is.
Head of content, Kevin Gainick,
Yes.
ladies and gentlemen. Also, the host of the CHGO Sports Podcast, which
Yes.
you were on earlier today.
I was on earlier
How
today.
was it?
It was amazing. I don't think he liked my Elvis takes because he loves Elvis, and I had some Elvis takes.
Oh, you mean the guy over there who looks like a
Who
dead
looks
ringer
like
for
a
Elvis?
Dead ringer for Elvis, whose hair is like that, who loves him. But yes, but no, these are jokes. But yeah, I had a great time. I had an absolute ball. I want to do it again. It was a lot of fun.
Good time. So go check that out. If you didn't catch that one live, go back and watch the replay on YouTube or find it in your podcast feeds.
Yeah.
And same goes for this one, if you missed the beginning of it or whatnot. And we'll have another show for you guys tomorrow to round out the week. So for Mr. Will Gottlieb, who's on
Will.
Twitter at Won't Gottlieb,
Won't
and
do it.
Big Dave, Bow, BAWL Sports, on Bulls_Peck. That's our producer, Joey, over there.
Joey!
You can follow him on Twitter at Joey Spathis if you want to.
You can.
And,
That's a first.
That's
can
Kevin over
do
there
that.
who you just said hi to.
That's good.
That's it. We batted cleanup day. We were the last show.
We did.
But it's the afternoon.
We did it.
I'm so confused.
Proud of you though.
We'll see y'all
Proud of you
tomorrow
too,
for a
Will.
fresh episode. Thanks for tuning in, Bulls Nation. We love ya. Till next time. See red. Be good.